Hi there. Tonight in unsolicited personal announcements, I wanted to talk about the fact that I wear wigs. I didn't make any big announcement about this when I started doing this about 18 months ago. And part of the reason is that I'm a novelist and I'm a humorist and I'm really comfortable hiding behind a keyboard, and I am not at all comfortable getting in front of a camera. Also, at the time I started doing this, I figured that people who saw me every day would either figure out that I was doing this and ask about it, or studiously not ask about it. And people who didn't see me every day would either ask about it or not ask about it. I make it sound like I was really chill about this when I started doing it, and the truth is, I really wasn't at all. Um, I struggled with the decision to wear wigs for a really long time. I've been losing my hair for one reason or another since I was 19 years old, and I tried literally everything else you can think of. And I know you think of all of the things that people suggest, the lasers and the vitamins and the nutrient rich goos. And I will tell you, I also got my head tattooed, which is a whole story unto itself. But I didn't try this one. I didn't try wearing wigs. And I was resistant to it for a really long time. And when I finally started doing it, if I had known how easy wigs were, or how much mental real estate I would get back from not worrying if someone was standing taller than me and could see my scalp, or standing behind me and could see my scalp, or that this actually isn't expensive or difficult or complicated or uncomfortable, I would have done this 15 years ago. And I would have saved myself so much anguish and so much heartbreak. And I didn't know. And once I started wearing wigs, I made it really obvious that I wasn't trying to keep it a secret. I hadn't been able to make my hair do anything in decades. And so now it could be anything I wanted it to be. And I went a little crazy with that because it was actually really fun. And I had forgotten that hair could be fun, because the last time my hair could be fun, I was a teenager. And of course, now I'm middle-aged and I'm not fun at all. Just ask my kids. So when I started doing this, something else started happening. Every single week, sometimes several times a day, someone would come up to me and they'd say something like, "Can we go talk about something personal?" And we'd go to some corner and I would say, "Sure." And it would be about this. Sometimes it would be something like, "I'm about to go through radiation," or "I'm going through perimenopause," or "My hair is thinning and I don't know why, and I don't know how to navigate this, and I've never had it happen before, and I'm miserable." Sometimes it was somebody who was approaching me for somebody else. They'd say something that they were wanting to look into wigs or be able to talk about it as an option for their sister or their daughter or their wife or their best friend. And sometimes it was questions like, how can I support them? Like, I know they don't want to talk about this. I just want them to know that I'm there for them and that I accept them and I love them the way that they are. What are the right things to say? What are the not right things to say? And if they want to talk about this, where can we go? Sometimes it was something like they spent $2,500 on a wig that insurance covered and it is awful and they hate it. So now, on top of everything else that they're dealing with this too. They're dealing with this already massive sea change to their own self-image, and now they have this thing that they feel like they have to wear that makes them very unhappy, and they don't think they have any other options. So many people struggle with hair loss. It's actually a fact that more than half of women will experience it in some form by the time they're 50. I experienced it in just about every form you can imagine. I had alopecia, I had hormonal hair loss, I had hair loss related to surgery, and several other things beside. And as I was struggling with this, as I was trying the vitamins and the goos and the treatments, I kept finding people who would tell me little things about it. I would, look up hair loss clinics and go, or I would go to a hair, wig salon and try to learn about things. But overall, there was no one-stop shop, and everything that I found was really confusing. And it made me feel like this was an option that I just couldn't pursue because it was going to be too expensive and too difficult and too uncomfortable, and it just wasn't going to be for me. So the fact that no one really talks about it and really talks about hair loss means that on top of this thing that you have your self-worth tied up in more than you like to admit, and you have your self-esteem all tied up in these strands of keratin on your head that all of a sudden you can't tie up anymore yourself, and you feel alone on top of everything else. I didn't want anybody to feel alone or to have to go down all of those rabbit holes that I went down to finally find this option and figure out how to make it work for me. So at first, I just started keeping a kind of a stream of consciousness list that was sort of a crash course on wig wearing and what I'd learned and where to go and how you could save money and how they were designed, what had worked for me, what hadn't, that sort of thing. And I kept sending that out over and over again as I got asked more and more and more. How can I learn about this? Where should I go? What kind should I buy? Where did you buy? How much was it? That sort of thing. And so I started keeping a Google Doc, and I kept updating it so that every time someone asked me about it, instead of me boring them for 20 minutes on the topic of how to clothe your naked noggin, I could actually be like, here's what I've found. Here's what I know. That document kept growing, and it ultimately became a book proposal. But here's the thing. It's nonfiction. And I'm a fiction writer and a humorist, and so I have a little bit of a platform, but I don't have a platform for this. And so I just have my head and my wall of wigs and my keyboard. And I really feel like there are people who are going through this out there, because I was one of them, and I've been approached by so many since then, and I keep talking to them. So this video, if you've gotten this far, is a test balloon. Is this something you have questions about? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to laugh about it? Do you want to read some stories and get some ideas and some support and commiserate a little bit? If you do, and you've gotten this far, bless you, could you comment on this video and let me know? Because I'm happy to keep doing shorter, much shorter videos on this, or articles, and answer questions that you have. But what I'm really trying to find out is, are you out there? Are you going through this? Is there an audience for this kind of information? And what would help you? Even if you don't respond, I really appreciate you watching this far. You are beautiful, and you're awesome every single day, and you're not alone. And I'm so glad you're here. Thanks.